Welcome to another Food Nourish Deep Dive. This is the videocast from foodnourish.net, where we get into the nitty-gritty of health, supplements, and wellness. Today, we are uncorking the science behind resveratrol and its really surprising connection to one of the biggest mysteries in modern health.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Have you ever wondered about this? It's a question that has puzzled scientists for decades. I mean, how can a diet just loaded with cheese, butter, and all sorts of rich fatty foods actually lead to lower rates of heart disease? It just seems to fly in the face of everything we've been told.
Well, this whole puzzle got a name back in 1992, the French paradox. Researchers were scratching their heads because while everyone else was getting warnings about saturated fat, the French just seemed to be protected, and they quickly honed in on one major cultural difference: their love of red wine. That became the #1 clue in this massive scientific investigation.
So what's the magic ingredient in the wine? Well, the hero of our story today is a molecule called resveratrol. It's a natural compound, and you find it concentrated in the skins of grapes. This is the exact substance that scientists now believe is responsible for those powerful heart protective effects. So today, we're going to break down exactly how it pulls this off.
To really understand how resveratrol works, we need to zoom in, way in, right inside our own cells. Because this isn't just about some general antioxidant effect. No, this is about flipping a very specific and very powerful master switch that actually controls how we age. And that master switch is this protein right here, SIRT1. You can think of it as the CEO of your cellular health. It's in charge of aging, your metabolism, how your body responds to stress, the whole shebang. And what's one of the most powerful natural ways to wake it up and get it to work? You guessed it, resveratrol.
And listen, it's not just any old protein. Scientists have actually nicknamed it the longevity protein, and they don't just hand out cool names like that for nothing. When SIRT1 gets activated, it kicks off this amazing chain reaction of positive effects that help protect our cells and keep them feeling young and resilient.
So what really happens when resveratrol flips that SIRT1 switch? Well, first, it triggers something called mitochondrial biogenesis. Now that sounds super complicated, right? But all it really means is it tells your body to build more little power plants inside your cells. And this can boost your cellular energy by up to 25%. It also dials down inflammation and seriously ramps up your body's defenses against oxidative stress. It's like a complete system upgrade, but at the cellular level.
Now, the science on this stuff is moving incredibly fast. So let's look at some of the latest breakthroughs, which are revealing the resveratrol's effects are even more sophisticated, even cooler than we first thought.
Just take a look at this number for a second. 40%. What do you think that means? Well, it represents a massive, and I mean massive, increase in a critical marker for heart health. And it was discovered in a landmark study that was just published this year.
And here's where that number comes from. A brand new 2024 study in the journal Nature Scientific Reports found that resveratrol activates the specific genetic pathway, the SIRT1 PGC1 alpha pathway. And the result? A 40% increase in mitochondrial density. To put it simply, it tells your heart cells to literally build more power plants, making them stronger and way more efficient.
And this is a huge deal. Why? Because our mitochondrial function, our cellular energy, it naturally declines by about 10% every single decade after we hit age 30. So activating this pathway with resveratrol, it's basically like hitting a reset button on that part of the aging process. It helps restore a more youthful, energetic profile to your cells. And the new research doesn't stop there. Other new studies are showing resveratrol offers cardiorenal protection, so that's a dual benefit for both the heart and the kidneys, which, often decline together. And incredibly, it's also being studied for atrial fibrillation because it seems to get at the root metabolic problems that can lead to an irregular heartbeat.
Okay, so the science is clearly compelling, but what does all of this mean for you, practically speaking? Let's get down to it and talk about how much to take, when to take it, and what you can actually expect to happen. All right, dosing can be really confusing online, but the clinical data points to a pretty clear sweet spot. This low-dose therapeutic range, somewhere between 150 and 500 milligrams a day, that's where most of the studies are finding those significant cardiovascular benefits. Oh, and a couple of pro tips. For best absorption, take it with a meal. And make sure the label says trans-resveratrol. That's the form your body can actually use.
Now, it's really important to note this is not a quick fix. You have to be patient. The benefits are cumulative. They build over time. So within the first month or so, you'll see improved antioxidant status, but those bigger structural changes like healthier blood vessels and that increase in those cellular power plants, that's going to take more like 3 to 6 months of consistent use.
One of the earliest benefits you can actually measure, like we just saw on the timeline, is on blood pressure. Within about 6 to 8 weeks, studies show that a daily dose of at least 150 milligrams can lead to a really significant drop in your systolic blood pressure, usually right in this range, 5 to 10 points. That's pretty impressive.
Now, if you're interested in trying a high-quality supplement for yourself, finding a brand you can trust is obviously key. So to make it easy, you can visit foodnourish.net/deals. We've curated a bunch of wellness and supplement deals from major brands like Perpetual Life, iHerb, Source Naturals, Nootropics Depot, and Bioptimizers. We've put the link for that right in the description for you.
And please, this is absolutely critical. While it's generally very safe, resveratrol can interact with certain medications. It might enhance the effects of things like blood thinners or diabetes drugs, so it is essential, non-negotiable, that you speak with your doctor before you add this to your routine, especially if you're on any of those prescriptions.
Okay, so this brings us full circle, right back to that original question. If all this good stuff comes from red wine, can't we just solve the problem by, well, drinking more of it?
Yeah, the answer to that is a hard no. To get that 150 plus milligrams that they use in the clinical trials, you'd have to drink over 40 glasses of red wine every single day. And that's obviously not practical, and it would be incredibly harmful. So supplementation is really the only realistic way to get these therapeutic doses.
So, let's put all the pieces together. Where does resveratrol really stand in the world of heart health supplements? And what's the final verdict on how well it works?
When you stack it up against other popular supplements, you start to see its unique role. Think of it like this. CoQ10 and omega-3s, they provide direct support. They're like specialists doing one job really well, like boosting mitochondrial energy or fighting inflammation. Resveratrol is different. It's the master regulator. It's like the project manager activating entire teams of protective pathways all at once. This makes its effects broader, though maybe a little more variable from person to person.
So the bottom line is this. The science behind resveratrol, especially for activating these longevity pathways like SIRT1, is really strong, and it's just getting stronger every year. That 150 to 500 milligram range really does seem to be the evidence-based sweet spot for getting the benefits with low risk. But you have to remember, it is a powerful tool, but it is not a magic bullet. It's going to deliver the best results when it's part of a complete health strategy that includes a good diet, exercise, and of course, proper medical care.
So, with its incredible ability to help rebuild our cellular power plants and wake up our longevity proteins, is resveratrol the reset button for your heart? Well, the evidence suggests it's one of the most powerful tools we have for healthy cardiovascular aging. Thanks so much for joining this deep dive. Make sure to check the description for links to all the resources we used. If you found this useful, please hit that like button. It really helps our channel grow. And of course, subscribe so you never miss our next explainer on these important health matters.